Hi everyone, it's Adam from Tranquility Homes. I'm here today with Liam, who's our branch manager at Tranquility Homes, and we're going to talk to you about selective licensing. So what we're going to do is I've got a few questions for Liam, so we're going to do some questions and answers, and hopefully this will help you if you're looking at doing a selective licensing in the near future. So Liam, tell us, what is selective licensing?
Okay, so selective licensing is something that the council are bringing in to help bring problematic areas and substandard properties up to a decent level, basically, of where it needs to be adequate for people to live in. The license sort of covers, so what it can do is it can enforce landlords to have certain levels of, so for instance, the EPC, it encourages people to have a better EPC. It makes sure that they've got all their relevant certificates in place, gas, electric, that kind of thing. And it also is hopefully to try and combat antisocial behaviour and things like that in the problematic areas, which obviously we'll get onto a little bit later on.
Okay, that's great. So, I mean, we've got landlords in Nottingham and all over Leicestershire as well. Yeah. And I know this is something that we've had to look out for our Nottingham landlords in particular. They brought in selective licensing in that area, and then also about 2 years ago, they brought it in Oadby and Wigston. But I understand now they're looking to kind of branch it out more into Leicester. So whereabouts in particular in Leicester are we going to be looking at this licensing coming in?
Okay, so this licensing in particular is, there's three key areas that it's coming into. And they are, so Stonygate is one of them. The Ayleston, Saffron Lane area is another. And then we've got Narber Road, West Coast area as well. So they're kind of the sort of, I know I've mentioned a few different areas, but they're three areas that are together.
Okay. We've got a lot of landlords in those areas that we're going to need to try and help.
We do. So I think what we're going to do is we will email all them landlords specifically who've got properties in that area to let them know that, look, your house is under the selective licensing. And also, if you do want to have a look, sort of on the back of this video, if you have a look down in the description below, we'll put a link for the actual street addresses as well.
Oh right, so like an interactive map or something people can look at.
Correct, exactly, an interactive map. Yep.
Yeah, that would be great. Okay, so when's this going to come in? When do our landlords need to do anything, and what kind of costs are going to be involved?
Okay, so the licence needs to be applied for from the 10th of October 2022. The cost for a licence is £1,090, and that lasts for 5 years. The fee, the £1,090 fee, is per unit. Okay. Right. So, which basically means if you've got one building with, say, 5 flats in, you are going to have to pay that fee 5 times.
Right. Okay. And that fee is payable to the council, presumably, is it?
Correct. Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. So the application then is £1,090 every 5 years. That's a hefty sum for landlords to pay out, especially per unit. So is there any discounts available on that we can help the landlords with?
There is, actually. There is some quite good discounts, and there's a few noticeable discounts that I think most people are going to fall under, which I'll mention now. So you get 10% off for early bird. So basically within the first 6 months, as long as you put your application in then, you'll have a 10% discount. So that's the easy one.
Okay. So that's like between the 10th of October and March.
6 months on from there, yeah, exactly.
Great. So that presumably is just for putting your application in. You don't have to have the whole license. It's just for submitting those forms through the website.
Exactly right. Exactly right. So that's an easy 10% that you can get off straight away.
Yeah.
Okay. EPCs. So if you have a rating above a C, 10% off straight away.
Great. So I mean, any of our modern properties then, some of the Victorian terrace might not have a C, but anything that's kind of 1980s onwards is probably going to
more than likely.
Discount.
Yeah. And I think, you know, it's probably not that difficult to actually get it up to that. You could make some improvements yourself to get it to that level and get the extra 10% off. It's worth looking into. If you are an accredited member of a scheme, you will also get 10% off as well. That's another discount, which I think quite a few landlords would probably fall under as well.
Okay, so yeah, that's the landlord specifically then, if them in particular are part of one of the landlord accredited schemes. Okay.
Exactly right. And then finally, another one which I think is going to fall under quite a few people is if you're putting in several applications at once.
Okay. Yeah.
So obviously, if we can help with that. I think where if we're going to put in the application for the landlord on their behalf. Obviously, we're going to be putting in applications for a lot of landlords, which means anyone who uses us will get a 10% reduction on the price. And we'll charge a small fee to do that.
Okay.
But it's another 10%. So I think just them there. So you're allowed. I don't think I explained this, but you're allowed 30% up to 30% reduction off
As a maximum.
Maximum off the 1,090. And I think just them few points there. There is a list of some others which we can let you know on what they are. But I think them few 10% there should be fairly achievable for most landlords.
Yeah, that will bring the cost down quite significantly then.
Massively. 30% is a huge amount.
Okay, so then for our landlords sitting at home thinking, right, we've got to get these licenses. I understand we've got to go onto the council website and put the application in through there, but what exactly is the council going to be asking on this application?
Okay, so the council are asking for quite a lot of things, but the main things that they are going to be asking for are things like safety certificates. So they're going to want to see that you've got a gas certificate, electrical certificate. They want to going to see that the EPC's valid and in date. There's a number of things that they're going to want to see, but they're sort of the key things really. They're also going to want to do a fit and proper person assessment as well. And then there's a number of other things that needs to be sort of ticked off the list, if you like, to actually get the licence passed and signed off.
Okay, so for our landlords at home then who are sitting there thinking, well, we're going to have to get this application done. I know we have to do it through the council website, but what kind of typical questions are they going to ask?
Okay, so there's quite a lot of questions that the council are going to ask, and there's quite a lot of things that they're going to want to see.
Right. Okay.
The core things that they want to see are safety certificates. So gas, electric, they're going to want to see your EPC certificate as well. And there's a few other bits and bobs that they want to see as well, but they're the main things. They also want to do a fit and proper person assessment. So that's another thing that they want to do.
Okay.
And you will also need to provide a floor plan of the property.
Right, so what are we going to do to help our landlords, Liam?
Okay, so because we are obviously going to be doing this quite a lot, and we've been to all of the sort of the behind the scenes, being part of the chat groups, talking to the council.
Agency liaison group we're part of, aren't we?
Exactly right. So because we know quite a lot about that, we're going to pass that information on to our landlords. And we're going to do it in two ways. So there's obviously going to be some landlords that want to do it themselves. Okay, so in that instance, what we're going to do is we're going to create a video that will show them how to do the application on their own, at home, in their own time.
Oh, fantastic. That would be really useful, especially for our let-only landlords.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And then for other landlords who want us to do that, then we will do that fully. So we would take care of the whole application. There's two stages to that application. Part A is probably the chunkiest part. Mm-hmm. So you pay the majority of the fee at Part A, and that's when the application goes in, and when they will then come out and inspect the property and make sure that it's all okay. And then the Part B is once that has been done, and then it's basically the issuing of the license, and that is then when Part B is paid of the fee, basically. And it's the smaller part, but that will get you the license for you to be.
Great. So to summarise it then, the application goes in, the council comes out and does an inspection on the property, which for our managed landlords we're gonna help with, and
Yep. we
we'll
will
be able to
attend that.
attend.
Yep.
Fantastic. And then after that's done and all signed off, any pointers they'll give us direction on, but otherwise they'll sign it off and then we'll get our selective license.
Exactly right.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
And then I think from the understanding of what the council said to us, right, because they're going to have lots of applications in over the next 6 months, as long as this application's submitted, then the landlords will be free to continue renting their house, because I think we've got to have this in order for them to rent their house out.
Correct. That's the whole point of the license. You know, it's to make sure that you are capable of renting your property out, basically. So yeah, if it is applied for, you can carry on as normal.
Fantastic. So, well, I think that really wraps us up for today. Thanks so much, Liam, for all that useful information. It's definitely going to be a big undergoing, I think, for all of the landlords. But you know, I think at Tranquility Homes we're here to help them every step of the way, aren't we?
100%. Yeah, 100%.
So, fantastic. Thanks for watching.